It's the one a lot of you have been waiting for. It's the Motorola Razr Plus for 2024 versus the Galaxy Z Flip 6. And let me tell you this, just from my personal preference, it's not the blowout that it was last year. I really was bored with the Flip 5. It did nothing for me. That is not the case with the Flip 6. I've really been enjoying my experience with the Flip 6, and I could easily use it for the entire year and not feel like I'm being left behind like I did last year with the Flip 5. The Razr Plus is still the more stylish device. It's still the one with the most flair, and that's important because when you're talking about flippables, these compact phones, it's a big portion of the buying decision is the looks. I mean, if you were just going for a straight smartphone, a slab phone, there's no reason why you'd pick up a flippable because you're sacrificing some things to get that folding screen. Whereas you just pick up you spend almost less money for a more powerful device, a more versatile camera system, and there's lots more for you on those flagships that don't fold. So when you're talking about these, a big portion of the decision and what people base their choice on is the design. So the Razr Plus does still have the advantage there. Someone quoted it perfectly on another video, and I said I was going to use that quote. They had the Flip 6, and they returned it for the Razr Plus because they just couldn't fall in love with the Flip 6. There was just something about it that prevented them from loving it, even though it was a reliable device, it's a good device, it's a well-made device, and there's a lot to like here. And that's kind of where I land on it. But at the same time, I see this year specifically why you would pick up a Flip 6 over a Razr Plus. And don't say it's, people don't know or Samsung's born or all these other stuff. These sit side by side in carrier stores. So it's not like these overseas devices where people never see a Razr Plus. They see it next to a Galaxy Z Flip device, and they're still choosing the Galaxy Z Flip device for some reasons we'll discuss. Okay, let's talk about that design. You got the Eco Leather back. I don't like it as much as last year, the Razr Plus for 2023, but it is still nice in the hot pink. It's cool. You got the matched aluminum here as well. It's a better hinge than it was last year on the 2023 version. I like it. It feels a bit more solid and consistent all the way through, but you are still getting a better overall hinge experience on the Flip 6. This is a very nice hinge, very smooth. You get that good satisfying click right at the end. It feels solid all the way through, and it's a nice consistent feel. So if you're worried about hinge and durability, listen, last year's Razr Plus wasn't an issue, but if hinge, feel, and that is the most important thing for you, then the Flip 6 is going to take it. But the rest of the design, gorgeous on the Razr Plus. I think the advantage goes to the Razr Plus. And then you look at that outer display, which is really nice. Now, the outer display is great. The extra space is nice, 4 inches versus the 3.4-inch display on the outer display for the Flip 6. Really nice scroll experience, okay? I like the fact that I can use the apps. I just add them. I don't have to worry about it. Here you got to worry about good lock and all the rest of it. And you got to put some stuff on here, and you got to do a few things in order to get full app experience on the outer display of the Flip 6. Now, when I say scroll, I mean scroll. So scroll is good, and you see the cameras don't really get in the way here, and it's a nice overall experience, and you get use of that larger display. But the functional bits are similar between the two, believe it or not. WhatsApp, if you pull it up, I'm not going to pull it up because it has private conversations, but if you pull it up, because of the camera hump here, the typable area is roughly the same between these two devices. So don't expect a huge experience functionally on the outside. For viewing stuff for social media and gaming, this is the better option. For just the typing experience, WhatsApp functional messages, these, believe it or not, are a pretty comparable experience, at least in my mind. You're going to open them up. You're going to get the gorgeous, vibrant display, the 6.9-inch OLED over here versus the 6.7-inch display. Still a good Samsung panel. You need to turn the vividness slider all the way up. It's not going to wow you saturation-wise like Samsung panels of old. That's more like the Moto Plus. But look at here side by side. And this is going to be why people make the decision that they do, believe it or not. People, and I've just learned this cycle, because I got a lot of, I was with everybody saying, why are these designs so boring? They don't change anything, especially the Fold 6. Why can't we get a bigger one? Who doesn't want to? S24 Ultras sandwiched together? And the answer is a lot of people. You know, the compact nature of these devices does play into it. And this, at 6.7 inches, the Flip 6, is a smaller device. It is more compact. It folds down. It's a smaller footprint. There's lots here to like if you're just looking for a small phone and you don't need that large screen experience on the inside. You're not as concerned with multitasking. The 6.7-inch display is nice for you. All the apps, everything runs well over here on this device. So that's something that you're going to take into account. A bigger display over here, but same thing. If you want that bigger display experience, 6.9-inch display, it is a gorgeous canvas to look at. That's something that's going to be in favor of the Razr Plus. Let's look at cameras. The Moto doesn't do a bad job, but to me, the Flip 6 is the better camera system. It is the warmer kind of color science the Samsung is going for here. That's been a trend on the flippables. Fold is the same way. It kind of gives some tone and some mood to the image. So if that's not something you like, then the harsh kind of lighting of the Moto is going to appeal to you. I will say this. The Moto has more trouble with white balance and blowing stuff out. You do have to sit there for a minute and tweak the image in the preview before you get what you want light-wise. So you have to be careful with that, whereas the Samsung device, point and shoot, kind of gets the lighting right every time on the first try. So that's something. Crease, I don't really notice the crease between these two devices. I think they're both fine. They're both nice. You're not going to notice them. Once you're looking at content, you're not really going to have a problem with that. Battery life is comparable. Don't worry about the power difference between these two, really. Both 12 gigs of RAM. I understand you're getting the full Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 over here, and you're getting the 8S Gen 3 over here. That's not a reason why you'd buy one over the other. I will say this, though. It is nice to get a bit of a discount over here on the Razr Plus. You're getting a nicer-looking device. You're getting a larger outer display. You're getting comparable battery life, a beautiful display, and a good enough camera for $900. Now, if you want the support, if you want Galaxy AI, which a lot of people are starting to talk about. You know, I'm not big on it, but a lot of people are starting to like Galaxy AI. So I understand you're missing, DeX and some other stuff over here that you normally get on some of the big boy Samsung devices. And I understand $1,100 is pricey over here for the Flip 6. But a lot of people are talking about that 7 years of support. It matters to people. I understand it might not matter to you, but that's not the conversation. It matters to somebody, right? There's somebody out there who's going to utilize that. There's somebody out there who's going to like the fact that even if they're not going to keep their phone for 7 years, they're going to keep it for 4 years, and they know that Samsung is going to be much more motivated to keep the phone running well, optimize it, and bring it the latest and greatest Galaxy AI features for as long as possible. So if that's something, if timely software updates are important to you, which there are people who that's important, the Samsung device and One UI is where you want to be. If that's less of a concern, you're going to get 90-day updates maybe on your Razr Plus. But let me tell you something. You might not be getting updates, but you'll be not getting updates in style because this is a gorgeous, gorgeous phone again. And if you're somebody who likes the idea of saving time and saving battery life and just kind of that one-handed, casual, palm of your hand scroll of social media, you're going to love emails, whatever it happens to be. You're going to love the outer display on the Razr Plus. So I do think I lean Razr Plus overall again this year, but let me tell you something. It's nowhere near the blowout that it was last year. This is a very nice device. If you decide to pick up a Flip 6, you are not going to be disappointed. If you want that more compact form factor, if you want the better camera, if you want that slightly more powerful device, which I don't really think is that big of a deal, but if you want that software support and the extra Galaxy AI, I think you could be very happy this year with the Flip 6. It is the best hinge in the game. It is the best software support. And the rest of it built around it is a mighty impressive device as well. So I don't really think there's a wrong answer here this year. It really comes down to preference and what's most important to you. But if it's style, if it's display, if it's functionality, that type of look that you're going to get, I think it's Razr Plus. If it's software support, camera, and everything else, I think you're going to lean Flip 6. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, have that Steve-licious day.